that way, and believe me, I know. I'm an expert on Ben Floyd. We've known each other since we were both babies. Mama has pictures of the two of us in diapers, which I'd like to burn. Even though he's a boy, Ben's always been my best friend, at least until last year. Since then, he's been hanging out a lot with a boy named Justin, who moved into the neighborhood last summer. I guess it's easier for him. I know it'd be easier for me if he was a girl. And I wish he hadn't gotten cute. Last year, other girls started getting all giggly and tongue-tied around him. They were jealous if they saw him talking to me, and the guys teased him. No one would believe that we were just friends. "Turn, Cody, turn!" Ben jerked his brother's handlebars, and the bike came back my way. Ben ran alongside, one hand on the seat. "Your daddy gonna build that fence all the way around?" he called over his shoulder. "I don't think so." "That's good." He swooped the bike around again. "Your place would look like a fort if he did." "Ben," Cody whined, "I'm getting dizzy going back and forth. I want to go home." "Okay. See you later," Ben called to me as they streaked by. Other girls would spend hours on the phone trying to figure out what Ben Floyd meant when he said, "See you later." But like I said, I know him. See you later meant see you later. "Later," Cody repeated. He jingled the bell on his handlebars all the way to their house at the end of the block. He only stopped ringing it when Ben shouted, "Brake, Cody, brake! You're going to hit the garage!" Trailing my fingers along the boards of the new fence, I walked back toward the rows of Sharon bush that grew near the edge of our yard. The fence was pretty close to the bush, and it crowded the spot where Ben and me used to play when we were little. We would sit behind the bush, hidden from the house. Sometimes we would throw a blanket over the branches to make a tent. I guess we've outgrown all that now that we're both in middle school. I still have a chair back there, though, and when my parents and my big sister, Lou Ann, and the baby are all fussing at once, I sit back there just to get away. Before we built the fence, I could see the house next door real well. It's the only big house in the neighborhood, and it was built a long, long time ago. It must have been beautiful back then. It has fancy railings and a porch that wraps all the way around. Too bad it hasn't been painted for at least 50 years. Until March, when she died at 97, Miss Liz was always out on that porch. She would talk to Ben and me when we were playing by the rows of Sharon bush. After Ben stopped coming over, Miss Liz told me I should come sit up on the porch with her so the two of us could talk, girl to girl. Sitting side by side in the two rockers on the porch, we'd talk. I would tell her about how much I loved to run and about how I wished I could be pretty like my sister, Lou Ann. Miss Liz would tell me old-timey stories about ice cream socials and hay rides. "You know, Cass, when I was a girl like you," she'd say, "all this land belonged to my daddy." Then she would sweep her thin bluish hand through the air, and our house and all the other little houses would disappear. The buggies would come from that way up the hill. You'd hear the clomp of hooves on the sand road before you saw them. We'd squint, imagining we could see the horses nodding as they climbed, the buggies swaying, even though we were really only seeing Mr. Martin coming home from the bus stop or Miss Johnette walking her old dog, Gregor. While we rocked and talked, Miss Liz's 14 cats, each one named for a Confederate general, took turns napping in her lap or weaving around our ankles. There was General Nathan Bedford Forrest and General Jubal Early. We just called him Early. He always got to the food first. There was also a Jeb Stuart and a Henry Alexander Wise and quite a few more I never could keep straight. The biggest one, an orange tomcat, was named General Robert E. Lee. He was always in trouble for sharpening his claws on Miss Liz's chair. After Miss Liz died, I took my rocker off the porch and put it in my spot behind the bush. I just know she would have wanted me to have it.